Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we'll tell you how the spread of the novel coronavirus is causing trouble for some families here in the United States who are trying to adopt a child. And we go to Floyd County, where we talked with those who knew the couple accused of abusing their adopted children.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 5:33 on February 27th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning on this Thursday morning. It is a little chilly out there. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, and snow has fallen in most parts across the region.
Exactly, and we're going to continue to see those cold temperatures all day and for the next couple of days. But this morning, as we take a look back at the last 6 hours, heavy bands of snow came through at times overnight, and some still coming through this morning. But you can see back towards central Kentucky, even southern Kentucky, starting to see a break in the action, even maybe some clear skies down toward Lake Cumberland this morning. Only five counties under a winter weather advisory this morning. That is Harlan and Letcher in eastern Kentucky, and you have Wise, Buchanan, and Dickinson counties in southwest Virginia. Now, Harlan and Letcher go until 7 this morning, and then Buchanan, Dickinson, and Wise go until 10. Temperatures pretty much in the upper 20s for most spots. Now, there's a couple of 30s hanging on there: Middlesboro, Jacksboro, Somerset, and Ashland. But everybody else continued to fall. And look at those temperature changes from this time yesterday. 20 to about 21 degrees colder in a lot of locations. So max warming needed on the coffee meter this morning. I went up from a little extra to max warming because we've dropped into the 20s now. And we'll take a look at our 12-hour planner. Snow should wrap up here pretty soon for the most part, in the next hours, or a couple of hours rather. And then we'll start to see again the clouds for a while start to clear by the afternoon, giving us some late day sunshine. So hang in there just a little longer. Roads are slick this morning. Be careful. Rest of the forecast on the way in a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, concern continues to rise as the number of coronavirus cases increase. Kentucky officials are taking precautionary steps. As of now, the coronavirus is not making a big impact on the U.S., but for the adoptive parents, it's taking a massive toll. Travel bans are stopping parents from being able to pick up their children. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked with a woman who has a friend going through this pain.
The adoption process is a mystery to most, but everyone knows it's a lengthy process.
From the time that we started our home study until we had her in our arms was 15 months.
Bethany Thompson is a teacher from Pikeville. She has adopted 2 children from China.
I thought it was so funny. It's always been in my heart to adopt.
Adoption has many steps, starting with a home study before turning that study over to an agency who then turns it over to the country you are adopting from.
You've got the U.S. government, the Chinese government involved in the process, and it just takes time. The final step is getting travel approval.
Thompson says adoptive families stick together, creating a lifelong bond.
And I certainly have had that support, and I try to provide it also.
Now providing that support to a family.
She has a little girl waiting on her
who cannot travel to China to pick up their baby girl because of the coronavirus.
I cannot imagine the hurt and the worry.
They plan to leave March 6th, but now they do not know when they can see her.
On top of the normal wait that you have, she now has these unanswered questions about when she will get to go.
Waiting for more than 1 year and now no end in sight.
Now, that was Emily Bennett reporting, and now we could not talk to that particular family because they fear this report could further endanger their chances for adoption. It just goes to show how touch and go this process can be. Since 1999, Americans have adopted more than 81,000 Chinese children. Nearly 1,500 of those children were adopted in 2018. And meanwhile, President Donald Trump announced a point person for his administration's response to the global coronavirus outbreak. Vice President Mike Pence will head federal efforts to stall the virus's outbreak. There are now more than 80,000 cases worldwide, including the first confirmed case in South America. Federal health officials say while the outbreak is currently contained in the United States, we should be prepared for a pandemic. And investigators in North Carolina have come back empty-handed after searching a pond for a missing 15-month-old girl from Tennessee. Now they say the search for Evelyn Boswell was inclusive. And the little girl went missing in Sullivan County, Tennessee in December, but her disappearance was only reported last week. The toddler's mother, Megan Boswell, was arrested on Tuesday, charged with 1 count of giving false reports to investigators. And the medical examiner says the body found at a storage facility in Madison County is Shayna Baxter. Baxter disappeared on Valentine's Day, and her ex-boyfriend Joseph Hicks is charged with murder. Investigators found Baxter's body on Tuesday at a storage facility down the road from Hicks's home. A grand jury indicted him on murder and robbery charges. He will be back in court on Monday. And when the news broke that Thomas and Jennifer Stacy of Floyd County were arrested on charges including child abuse, the community was shocked. The church where Thomas served as pastor quickly removed his name from its sign, and the company that employed the couple terminated them. Representatives with Mountain Comprehensive Care Center say the Stacys were great employees, and they never would have expected to hear the news of their indictment, with crimes that oppose everything the company stands for.
We make sure that we do the right thing by not only the clients that we serve, but by our employees, by the programs that we have.
Baldridge says the children in the Stacy home were not placed or adopted through Mountain Comprehensive Care. And the couple at the center of those accusations will appear in court today. A bond hearing is scheduled for later this morning. A grand jury indicted Thomas and Jennifer Stacy on assault and criminal abuse charges. Thomas is also charged with sexual abuse along with sodomy. The alleged abuse lasted for more than 10 years. And police in Corbin need your help identifying a truck that could lead them to stolen items. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to a student whose car was broken into.
Samantha Jordan is turning her dreams into plans to be a dental hygienist.
I will finish at EKU this semester for what I need to go to Prestonsburg to do the dental hygienist program in the fall.
Which means her schedule is packed. Squeezing in 3 or 4 gym days each week is all she can afford. The last thing she needed was for her books to go missing.
I have a pretty boring life, so I didn't think it would ever happen to me.
But it did. Last Tuesday, after she put her bags in her car outside the gym.
And I came back out and my windows were busted out.
The gym had security cameras and caught this truck. But not before Samantha lost around $1,000 in her books, Apple Watch, ID, Social Security card, and several other items.
It's hard paying for them once. To go back and pay for it twice is hard too.
On top of that, her biggest fears are just settling in.
Going forward, it's just a fear of somebody watching me all the time. Like, they have my license, so they know where I live. And they have my planner now, so they know where I'm at all times.
So far, there are no suspects. Samantha needs all the help she can get in finding out who did this. In Corbin, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
If you have any possible leads into who broke into that car, call the Corbin Police Department at 606-528-1122. And an Eastern Kentucky man who led police on a 30-mile chase Tuesday pleaded not guilty yesterday. Daniel Bell escaped from a work release in Western Kentucky on Sunday. Police found him yesterday in Floyd County and chased him into Johnson County. Bell is being held with no bond. He is scheduled for preliminary hearing on March 2nd. And you could have the chance to amend the state constitution by limiting the power a governor has in pardoning people. Yesterday, that measure took another step towards becoming law by passing the state Senate. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what was said as the bill was approved in the chamber.
It is common for outgoing governors to pardon a lot of people.
In fact, the article starts out with, in December 2007, during his last hours in office, outgoing Kentucky Governor Ernie Fletcher made state history by issuing 101 sentence commutations or pardons.
Former Governor Steve Beshear also issued pardons, but after Matt Bevin pardoned hundreds, including murderers, rapists, and drug offenders, many said action needed to be taken.
We vest in one person who stands to account to no one the authority to free anyone, to include every person serving on death row.
McDaniel's bill would put to voters only allowing pardons leading up to the gubernatorial election.
During the 30 days prior to an election, and then between a gubernatorial election and a swearing in.
Senator Morgan McGarvey has been quite critical of former Governor Bevin's actions in pardoning people, even calling for a widespread investigation. He did vote for this bill, but he also asked for a floor amendment. dealing with this bill possibly adversely affecting some death penalty commutations. However, that amendment was defeated. The constitutional amendment easily passed a committee last week and on Wednesday sailed through the Senate 33-4. Senator Robin Webb called the action an overreaction.
This is a dangerous path to go down. When you look at the number of constitutional amendments that we have proposed this session, it just troubles me deeply.
But I don't think that the bad actions of one governor should reflect on another, and I'm certainly going to conduct myself very differently when it comes to pardons.
The bill now goes to the House, where senators say they expect more amendments. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
If made law, the question asking if you want to limit the governor's pardoning power could be on this November's ballot. And later on Mountain News this morning, we'll have the latest on one Eastern Kentucky native's journey on the latest season of Survivor.
We continue to track the possibility for some slick roads this morning, and we're talking about some snow that's still in the forecast, at least for now. I'll have the latest on that in about 3 minutes.